Hello and welcome to this video on representation power of a function from Society of Artificial Intelligence or SOAI. I am Ritik and these slides are created by my colleague Mansi. So let's begin this video with a question that why do we really need complex function? In order to understand this, let's first recall all the three models that we have discussed so far: the MP neuron, the perceptron model, and the sigmoid model. Let us just see the various things about it. Firstly, data. As you can see, the inputs for MP neuron it was Boolean or either 0 or 1, whereas perceptron and sigmoid respectively had the real inputs. The task of all the three models was binary classification. The models were defined accordingly, and so was their loss function. What learning algorithm we assigned for MP neuron was a brute force search, whereas for perceptron it was perceptron learning algorithm, and for the sigmoid we used the gradient descent algorithm. Here, for all the evaluation criteria was the accuracy or RMSE in the case of sigmoid. So here we can see that in the previous all three models working only on linearly separable data. None of the above three models can handle non-linear separable data. So here basically what we mean by linearly separable data is if we have a data points, we plot it and then we find a line such that that particular line can separate the data into two parts. So in the above case, what we are saying is that the three model were very successful for the data which we can separate from a single line. But this is not the case when a case data is not linearly separable. So we will be needing a more complex function to handle this type of data. Let's understand in details the reason behind the need of a complex function. Let's take an example. Consider the following example where we are trying to predict like or dislike for a non-linearly separable dataset of mobile phones. So here our desirable set of phones lies in the center of a circle of a non-desirable phones based on the values of a variable cost and size. As you can see here, if we are supposed to be separate this data circle where other desirable ones should be where desirable ones are inside this circle and the non-desirable one are outside this one. So ideally we would need a decision boundary like this. But none of the function we have seen so far will be able to plot such a decision boundary, that is boundaries that separate two classes 0 or 1. So let's take a 3D plot of the two variables with output values mapped along the z-axis or the z-axis. See, this one is the discrete or the abrupt one and this one is continuous or the smooth one. Here, continuous function has a smooth distribution and the y value gradually increases as we converge to the center, becoming 1 at the region around the red dots. So as we can see this red dots here. However, such an output that we seen in the previous graph is not possible with the sigmoid function, which is the most complex function that we have discussed so far. Regardless of how we manipulate the values for the weights W and the threshold B. So, the sigmoid decision boundary can range from a shape S to flat based on W and B value decisions. So, different outputs with the help of a sigmoid function. As you can see, we have tried to manipulate or try to change the values of W and B accordingly to see how can we bend the curve or make a curve using the sigmoid function. This is the best that we can do. So here we can see that the sigmoid function is not suitable for modeling this complex decision boundaries. So let's understand the need of a complex function with the help of some real world example. Consider one example of predicting whether the annual income of a person will be greater than or equal to 50 Ks or 50,000 or less than or equal to 50 Ks. So, here is a snapshot of data for predicting whether the annual income of a person is greater than 50Ks or less than 50Ks with the features like income, age, hour per week, and education in years. So, let's plot this data in the 3D. Here we can clearly see that after we have plotted it in 3D and colored positive as blue and negative as red, the data is not separable. Here we want to predict the income of for a function of income, a function of age, hour with various parameters including the education. So here we need one complex function that gives us the output or the income based on such input parameters. Let's consider again another example. Consider this example. So we want output 0 in this region and we want output 1 in the region below. So now here we need a function that looks exactly like this. So I hope you are getting the point how we are supposed to be defining a function in order to get the output that we need or the boundaries that we were looking for or how smooth that a particular function can be. So here this arrow stretches only up to this. So we want one in this particular region, the region below this line which is separable, and 0 in this red dots and 1 for these black dots, and this is supposed to be our decision boundary. So now, how to make or build such a complex function? So let's see a simple recipe for building complex function. So here is one, as defined as y or y cap or the output equal to sine of wx plus cos of wx cube plus e to the power x plus x to the power 10 into 1 by log x. Example of a function that could create a complex decision boundary. Here we can clearly see that it's hard to come up with such function, or as we seen just earlier here, it is really very hard to come up with such a function which has this very particular decision boundary or really predict such a function. So now we will be needing a simpler approach in order to solve such kind of problem. So consider one example. To build a house, here we don't simply conjure the building out of a thin air. Instead we consider the basic unit of the building. The bricks are then combined one after the other in the different ways, ultimately the amount to a very complicated structure. Or see, in order to build a house or a home, the first thing we do is start by building by using bricks and build structures. And finally, from such arrangements of the bricks, we get what we call or see as a home. So, in our very context, the building would be a complex function and the brick would be a single sigmoid neuron. So, here is our brick and here is the building we are trying to make. So, here the building that we have constructed with the sigmoid neurons is nothing but a deep neural network. This basically why we call it as a deep neural network, because it has more than one hidden layers. Once a neural network has more than one hidden layer, it is called as a deep neural network. Consider a complex function that we get at the end is y prime, and the output function of a deep neural network or y cap as function of all the parameters. So regardless of y prime, we consider we will be able to approximate it with the y cap by using different configuration of layers and the sigmoid neurons. The universal approximation theorem. A deep neural network with certain number of hidden layers would be able to approximate any function between the input and the output. For example, this one is our complex function and this one is the deep neural network representation. So, in order to with regards to figuring out the DNN configuration for each function, we have to try out different combination to see what fits the best. For example, select between 1 to 7 hidden layers. Each hidden layer can have 50, 100, or 150 neurons, construct several neural networks, and select the combination that yields the minimum loss. Due to the democratization of models, we have a fairly good idea of combination to select based on the task at the end. That is, we don't need to try all the possible configurations. So let's understand this this with our six jar models. Here, the data are the if the input data will be the real inputs. The task is of that of a classification. The model is obviously the deep neural network. The loss function is defined as below, and the learning rate will be a bit changed and will be defined accordingly as w weight w is equal to weight plus eta dl by dw, and d or the threshold will be b plus eta times partial derivative of l with respect to b, and the accuracy will be the same as number of correct prediction divided by total number of predictions. Thank you.